What's up, guys and gals? Iceman here. Welcome to Meditations. Appreciate y'all for liking this video, subscribe to the page, and hit that bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my patrons. Links in the description below. May your contributions be brought back to you sevenfold. It's a strange thing, isn't it? The concept of breathing. And how it says in Genesis, upon the dawn of our existence, upon the dawn of our creation, if you will, that God breathed the breath of life into our nostrils. You know what I'm saying? And of course, then they made that what I see to be an inevitable decision. Watch a video on that I made. Infinite monkey theorem, this and that. There was a choice to be made. They were living forever. So the probability would have it that eventually that choice would be made. And they ate from that tree, the knowledge of good and evil. I wonder what that really means. Let me know in the comments below. But nonetheless, and then all that nasty stuff happened, right? Where we find ourselves in now. We decay, we vex, we suffer, we bleed, we die. We're just these consumers. It's a vicious cycle. And then we produce more of ourselves, and they do the same damn thing with the only guarantee in the end is death. You know what I mean? We just hope to suffer less and then die, I guess. But you see what I'm saying? The breath to the nostrils, and what's a bit sus about this concept of reality is that it's a sort of forced participation. When I was a child, little duck-billed platypus, I remember trying to hold my breath. I was like, can you just hold your breath or something? And to my understanding, you'd like pass out. Like you can't actually unalive yourself by doing that. I never took it to that extent. I mean, obviously it only makes sense, right? You're not going to unalive yourself from doing that. You're just going to pass out. And then it's almost going to be automated when you're asleep, I guess, which sounds quite nice, actually. Because the thing about breathing is it's a bit sus as well. That's a thing that would bother me back when I was a little duck-billed platypus. And even to this day, it still bothers me just a teeny tiny bit if I think about it. How it's like, damn, this is a lot of labor. Are you kidding me? I have to do this for like the next 50 years. If I live that long, am I going to live 50 years? I mean, up to 50 years. I don't really know. I'm just speaking on averages. 6, 7, 8. I don't know. But it's a bit overwhelming when you consider that. Have you guys ever been bothered by that? You just think about how we just have to breathe. We have to take another freaking breath. It's weird, isn't it? It's like forced labor to exist. And it's non-consensual. What is with that? It's interesting how it says the word of God is God breathed as well. But here's the thing. Well, first off, I'll say this. With the breathing, right? Even though, yes, it's forced consent, basically, at least it gives us freedom in the breaths and relief. Like the vexing part is the taking in, right? But then you can just let it go and it leaves you, and it's like you're almost automated to just let it go, to give it out again. You know what I mean? And when you do that, every moment or every few seconds, you can catch a glimpse of freedom. But outside of that, outside of the breathing concept, but still within it, is between those breaths, there's some freedom to move. You know what I'm saying? Like we can still we find ourselves in the in-between where there's still freedom. It's all organic. But here's where I'm going with this. One of the most concerning things of them all. For one, on surface level, it could seem almost as though... Let me pause this video. Oh, I can't pause the video. No pause button on this OBS. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No pause button on this OBS. My bad. It's not the computer that I have upstairs. This is my laptop downstairs in my room with the nice brick wall. But the problem is upstairs you can hear every fucking footstep. You can definitely hear the dog go off. But what's sus about it is it could almost make you sus about God. Like my idea of what Satan is like is that he'll force us to do things. Is that that's kind of what evil is, right? It's like you force people to do things that they don't want to do, or you'll put a burden on them that they don't want or like, or that is painful or filled with suffering, maybe, is the better way to put it. Maybe not necessarily don't like, because sometimes what's best for them is what they don't like. But that kind of forces suffering. So on surface level, you could almost say, why is God forcing us to participate in this? Why do I have to vex every freaking moment? And you know, like the folks who are on about, oh yeah, we're in a matrix and this and that. That's almost suspect over that as well. Like it is, because the matrix is like we're tied into a false reality, right? And we're forced to partake in it, but we don't realize it. And we're feeding the system or the hierarchy or the god of it, rather, energy. So in a sense, this is forced energy just to survive. The fact that we have to freaking take these breaths. But is it vexing? Let me know in the comments if you guys think that the whole breathing thing is vexing, and is it slavery? But at least we think we're all going to be unalived, right? At least we can escape this fucking hell. Now, this isn't necessarily hell. I mean, this is apparently, according to the Bible, this is a fallen realm, right? That would have been a lot better. That's destined to be a lot better in terms of the reconciliation of all things, where there's no more tears, no more sweating of the brow, no more toil, no more death, no more suffering. I mean, hell, maybe our breathing will be automated finally then. And instead of the little relief we get upon the exhale, rather than that, there'll be like that burning fire forever that we always have the opportunity to go in just to end our freaking existence. So we're not slaves to the system. And I can't help but wonder if that's what Satan is, when it says that Satan and his minions will be burning forever. If that's sort of the enablance of our escaping this forced existence, but perhaps God had it in mind, knowing that no one ever will. Although that infinite monkey theory doesn't really mesh well with that, does it? Unless if time doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. If we can fathom that, I mean, maybe that's the case. I don't know. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Well, it says death will be swallowed up. Maybe we could enter a sleeping state. I don't know. I'm curious what you guys have to say about that. But what's most concerning about this whole thing that I'm talking about is what we saw occur in our world just a few years ago. You remember that big thing with the sniffles and this and that? And how they shut down the whole freaking world. They say that the Great Deception, who knows, deceiving of the nations. I mean, they're all working in accordance with each other. They were, shut down this, that, and the third, shut down everything else. Can't go to your work, can't go to your business, can't go to church. Not that I really go to church, but I'm just saying, I mean, they're kind of, taking away everything. And one of the first things that they did was they attacked what apparently God gave us from the beginning. Remember how God breathed the breath of life into our nostrils? Well, what do these folks do? One of the first things is those damn masks. You remember that? You cover up your nostrils. I remember I'd walk around like this, with it like this. Because fortunately, I'm a hustler. I don't really have to go to work because I'm a hustler. And thank you guys for your support. YouTube is a big part of that as well. Your patronage, your views, your subscriptions, everything else, your likes. It all helps. But I was a hustler. So that being said, I didn't really have to go to work every day. Thank God. I didn't have to wear that damn thing like 8 hours a day or whatever. But I would still have to go out to the grocery store occasionally, and other places. And I'd go to these other places, like other businesses, and I'd have it like pulled out of my nose like this. And I don't know how many times somebody was like, "Can you pull that thing up?" And a few times I refused. I just kind of ignored them, But once or twice I was respectful. I was like, dude. It just kept going on around my day. And then probably a couple minutes later, because I just didn't like having to breathe in my own bacteria. You know what I mean? Like constant. I just can't imagine how much of a bitch that must have been for people who had to work all day like that. And who knows what's coming. I mean, some say that they're going to do another thing like that coming up here. But I mean, I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? The rulers, the powers, the principalities of this world, what did they attack first when they were given the ability to force consent on everybody? Well, they put a freaking flap over their nose so they couldn't take in that nice, fresh air. You see what I'm saying? And then they have these things coming up where cows are having the masks on. They say, oh, yeah, it's bad for the environment. These cows are emitting emissions, this and that. And I mean, it's probably not a too far-fetched thing to say, well, soon they're going to, the next rollout of these face coverings, they're going to be these digital electronic devices that are hooked up to, satellites and all that. They're going to be able to track if you have it on, if you're breathing, to where they might, with enough advances in this, they can actually control your breathing. They only give you X amount of oxygen. And what's really interesting about that is how say that we're in a world where the devil has control of the powers and rulers and principalities. And the devil might be the opposite of Jesus. Remember how Jesus didn't force people to worship him at all. They could. He healed them regardless. They just believed in him, that he interceded for the sins, that they were forgiven. But a couple of people fell at his feet and worshiped him, and he didn't stop them. But you see what I'm saying? There wasn't forced worship with Jesus, which might be the reason why he is the way and the truth and the life. It wasn't forced. It wasn't a pulling in of us all, forcing us. It was expanding out, like the exhalations. You know what I mean? Where that's how he broke through it all. That's how he made it through all eternity without the self-consumption of selfishness and death, because he's the opposite of that. You know what I mean? It would have been self-consumed if you were to force us to do it, just like how maybe Satan is destined for. I don't know. I mean, Satan is destined for self-consumption. And I guess that does kind of fit the narrative that folks always say, oh, you send yourself to hell. Of course, I made a video on that, but Yeah, it's interesting how that could apply to the devil. If he's the epitome of that, how it will be a continual self-consumption, a burning, if you will. But you see what I'm saying? How, what the devil could do with this, if you have this mask on that's wrapped around your freaking head and you can't walk outside. I mean, weren't some people like wearing them in their homes and all that? Like, weren't they told to wear them in their damn house? And if they could track that this thing is strapped on or not, you know what I mean? Like, say it gets really bad and you go to jail if you don't have the damn thing on. And then they'll like put you in like a seat and strap it around your face. And then this whole system, this beast system or whatever. This is just theorizing, you know. I mean, some folks say this stuff already happened a long time ago, and we're in like the new heaven, new earth. We're in the beginning of that, or we're the second resurrection, where the dead, the millennial reign happened already, and we're awaiting judgment or something. I don't know. We're awaiting the Gog and Magog battle. We're in Revelation 20. I don't know. But this is just one spin on it. And I know this is the more popular belief that, oh yeah, the technology, it's all rising up. We're right around the corner of the beast system, mark the beast, this, that, and the third. Look at the technology, Iceman. Look at the chips, Iceman. But this is my thing, added to that, added to your theory. You know, it's that, okay, it's going to be, these masks are going to get more and more advanced, and they're attacking the thing that God gave us life with, which is the breath to our nostrils. So that's what the devil's going after. And what's interesting about this is if it had the right sensories and stuff, it could detect your thought processes to an extent. You know, they say they can read brain waves and stuff. And it could be a thing that forces you to like hail Satan continually. Is that crazy? Like it could have these requirements, and it just could get worse and worse, where like you'll have to say, hail Satan, or something like that, or Satan is God, or something like that. You see what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to say that. Not in an illustration, because I pray to God, the God of heaven and earth. And I consider Jesus my interceder. You know, so I'll pray to Jesus. I'll pray in Jesus' name. I mean, I don't have it all figured out, all right? And I don't know am I fully faithful? Do I have faith more than that of a mustard seed? Well, if I did, I'd be moving mountains. I would say to this mountain, move. And I'd be casting demons out, and I'd be healing the sick, and I'd be drinking poison without it affecting me. I'd be getting bit by adders without it affecting me if I had great, great faith. All right? So what does that tell? You know, must be one of little faith, if any faith. I'm just saying that's what I do. I pray in that way, and I have hope. All right? Does that mean that it's factual, that I know 100%? Absolutely not. Obviously not. Rather, as mentioned, according to those scriptures, they testify against me. Am I doing greater things than what Jesus has done? Huh? Because, I mean, I must not have faith greater than that of a mustard seed in size. You know, pretty small faith. But you see what I'm saying? It could actually be hooked up and force you to worship Satan, and it could even tie you up. And you know how that thing in Revelation talks about those frickin' things that come out of the damn volcanoes or whatever, or the abyss from Abaddon? That fallen angel, the one of the abyss, the bottomless pit, which is interesting because, like we're talking about Satan, the epitome of evilness and that. The bottomless pit and these things that fly out of there and they sting everybody. It doesn't have the mark of God on them or whatever. And they wish for death, but they receive it not. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the sting of a scorpion. What do scorpions do? They paralyze. So it almost is fitting that, you know, they can have a forced worship of Satan. You see what I'm saying? Isn't that crazy? But I mean, I just know that my mama used to tell me, if you're ever in trouble, ask in Jesus' name for the demons to leave you, for the devil to be gone. I guess that's the best I get for you. But what do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace be with you.